here we go. Back again. Alright? And today is actually Sunday. But hey, it's the Friday fix, alright? And I did say it was coming. So yeah, here it is. Alright? And yeah, it's just totally a reflection of my life, to be honest. But yeah, this of course is me covering different stories from throughout the week, but slightly later than previously thought. Would you believe it? So let's get into it. And to get started, we will begin with another one of our heroes, Elon Musk, of course, the Rocket Man, right? Elon Musk says life on Mars will be glorious, but warns first settlers have good chance of dying, right? And by that he means, of course, dying on Mars, right? So if you are planning, if you have volunteered to go to Mars with Elon, then yeah, you probably will die on Mars, which is a shame, of course. Not because you're dead, not just because you're dead, but also because you then can't come back and tell anyone, of course, right? The Independent one day ago, Elon Musk says he will use space lasers to beam 100 Mbps internet from Starlink satellites. Wow, and that sounds absolutely fantastic, right? And another one from the moon, who's always in the news lately. The moon is rusty, and it's likely Earth's fault. Oh dear. So yeah, the Earth has made the moon rusty, and that's from Live Science one day ago. Would you believe it? What next for the moon? Will they one day come out and say, yep, it is actually made of cheese after all, right? Look out for it. NASA's Roman Space Telescope primary mirror completed, field of view 100 times greater than Hubble. Wow. So yeah, what sort of fairy tales will we begin to see from this wonderful new telescope, right? Look out for it. And sticking with space and more heroes, NASA, of course. NASA to study impact of space weather on Earth, right? In its mission proposals. So yeah, more money, right? So NASA are out shaking the can again for studies. So yeah, what have they been doing? Because as we know, they know fuck all, right? They just take money and fill everyone with complete and utter lies, right? And in terms of the space satellite drones, well, Virgin and Branson, he's now in on the act, right? Happy days. And another one of our heroes, Bill Gates, he is always, of course, in the fucking news, and here he is here. And it's been his good friend's, Warren Buffett's birthday. Right now, I'm adamant that he's related to Buffett and the Rockefellers, and I'm pretty sure, well, let's just say that they are all cut from the same cloth, right? And it is something that I want to get into in the future. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, as you can see, on Warren Buffett's 90th birthday, right? Fucking 90-year-old. Lucky for some. Or is he? Bill Gates says Buffett taught him the lesson about friendship. Wow. So yeah, he's been teaching him and he's made him a cake. But like everything in fucking life, it's all a big fake. Of course. Gates famously can't cook. Here he is struggling through a very basic baked chicken recipe which is LinkedIn, right? So yeah, he's useless at cooking. What a surprise. Besides, the video seems to show him using a raw egg to make buttercream frosting. Whoops. If you know anything about frosting, you know you don't put a raw egg in it. And serving such a thing to Buffet would risk infecting his non-Nigerian friend with salmonella. Wow, so yeah, that would have probably fucking wiped him out, right? That would have took him clean out the game, that. But yeah, of course, it's all a fake. And it then says, Gates has many nice things to say about Buffet, but perhaps the nicest is this, and this is Gates being quoted, "Of all the things I've learned from Warren, the most important thing might be what friendship is all about." Right. As Warren himself put it a few years ago when we spoke with some college students, right? You will move in the direction of the people that you associate with. Right. So yeah, wise words from Warren Buffett, right? But of course, interesting because, let's face it, we do know who Bill Gates likes to associate with, or did even, or maybe he still does. Who knows, right? Who would ever know? Let's be honest. But yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, of course, even after it all came out that he was a monster. But yeah, the royal family, the Queen, Prince Charles, who of course was best friends with the monster, another monster, Jimmy Savile, and the majority of the paedophile ring that is in British politics. It is rotten to its absolute fucking core, and it is so absolutely grim. It can be hard for people to comprehend or speak about. It's that grim, but it is there, and it is brutal fucking stuff. And that's something that we could possibly get into another time. But sticking with other news and the Friday fix on a Sunday, right? I seen this one, CNN, one day ago. Massive mystery holes appear in Siberian tundra, right? And could be linked to climate change. Of course, it's climate change. What else could it be? Right, it has to be climate. Anything that happens now is climate change. And speaking of climate change, yeah, coronavirus is now being linked again to climate change. And we have sort of seen this one coming for quite a few months now. There has been sort of the intertwining of the coronavirus and climate change. The World Economic Forum 3 days ago. 5 things COVID-19 can teach us about fighting climate change. Right, so it's taught us a lot of lessons, thankfully. Right, how lucky that the coronavirus rolled in and taught us these life-saving lessons to combat fucking the hoax that is, of course, climate change. And it says, we have no time to wait, but as COVID-19 has shown, we do have the means to meet this challenge. Right, so what sort of means will that be then? Right, will that be fucking lockdown, complete and utter lockdown forever? That'll be the only way to defeat climate change. Because what has coronavirus taught us, except from that the majority of the population are controlled and completely and utterly fucking brainwashed, along with the fact that just about every single fucking government in the world is completely and utterly fucking corrupt, right? And that is a fucking fact. Anyway, sticking with the Rona, the COVID-19, right? This is BBC yesterday. Odds upset stomach in children to symptoms. So yeah, once again, they are going for the children, and they have now added more symptoms of signs of the virus, right? And as you can see from the Independent, diarrhea and vomiting could be symptoms in children of coronavirus. Would you believe it, right? And yeah, you kind of wonder what next. Same with the moon. What next with the symptoms? Will it be if you can count to 10, you've got the coronavirus, right? In children, in children. Watch out for it. The Independent 1 day ago, government adds more towns to COVID watch list, joining Leeds and Middlesbrough. Right, so these are towns that go on the watch list or the lockdown list because, like we have said, we never are going to fully ever going to get out of these lockdowns. And the UK is a prime example when you have Scotland and England, because 1 week England get punched and Scotland's okay. Then the next week it's Scotland that get the punch and England's okay. But slowly but surely it sort of sidewinds its way, and everyone eventually in the end loses their freedoms. And that's what happens. It's clear as day, really. And speaking of Scotland, I was happy to hear that at the weekend there were quite a lot of protests here in Scotland, but quite a big one actually, in Edinburgh. And that really is music to my ears. And I know that it's not just Scotland. It's right across the world now. There truly is a massive awakening of people who have now finally realised that things ain't what they fucking seem, right? And a lot of people are now beginning to ask a lot of questions, and it's fantastic because yeah, it has to happen, but people need to be prepared, because at the end of the day, these people ain't gonna say, oh, okay, you got us, here's all your freedoms back, right? We're really gonna have to be prepared to fight when the time comes. That's my opinion, at least. And very well done to anyone who attended these protests at the weekend, anywhere across the world. Yeah, give yourselves a pat on the back from me. Well done, for sure. And I did see this in the BBC. Coronavirus tests could be picking up dead virus. Oh dear. So yeah, more faulty test results and more lies and deception, right? What does it say? Well, the main test used to diagnose coronavirus is so sensitive it could be picking up fragments of dead virus from old infections. Scientists say, so it must be true. Most people are infectious only for about a week, but could test positive weeks afterwards. Wow. Researchers say this could be leading to an overestimate of the current scale of the plandemic. What a fucking surprise, right? Ain't that a shock, right? I mean, imagine the complete shock at that. I almost fell off my chair when I read it, right? Sure. And I did see this as well in the Independent. From coronavirus to the climate. What it means to be a scientist today. I wonder, right? I wonder what it is, what it means to be a scientist today. Well, I'd imagine that you would have to be very greedy and want a lot of money. Otherwise, you won't make it as a scientist. Because if you base things on facts, then yeah, you won't get anywhere. But if you go by assumptions and Bill Gates' funds, then yeah, you'll make it as a scientist. No problem. Right, and sticking with Corona, what about this? The fucking vaccine. Well, in The Guardian today, political leaders are raising false hopes about coronavirus vaccines. Right, and imagine again the utter shock at political leaders raising false hopes by telling absolute fucking lies. Right, what a shock. The Guardian 7 minutes ago, Australian government announces COVID vaccine deals to provide 84.8 million doses. Right, so unfortunately, yep, it looks like the deal's done for the Australians. And it says there Scott Morrison was criticised in August for announcing a heads-off agreement had been signed with AstraZeneca before a final deal was secured. But yeah, there you go. It's been secured. What a surprise, right? It was always going to be secured, of course. In Australia, much like Scotland, run by Illuminati puppets. What a surprise. This again from the Bill Gates Guardian. Let's get real. No vaccine will work, as if by magic, returning us to normal. Because yeah, there ain't, let's face it, there just fucking ain't any going back to normal, right? Unless, of course, we make a stand and end the tyranny once and for fucking all. And yeah, this again has been in the news again. Would you believe it? And yeah, it's gene editing. What a surprise. And it's CRISPR. Would you Adam and Eve that? Now, we have touched on this CRISPR gene editing plenty times now. And it is bad news for sure. CRISPR in the COVID-19 era. The promise and peril of gene editing. And a scientist is there calling CRISPR a powerful pellet in defeating the virus, right? Sure. And yeah, CRISPR babies. That's been in the news again as well. But they're saying that the safety and efficacy of gene editing and human embryos hasn't been proven, researchers warn. So yeah, CRISPR babies, it's a bit too risky, right? Unfortunately. But yeah, good. But that, of course, will change, right? And it says, to expand on it a bit more, the technology is not presently ready for clinical application, says Richard Lifton, president of Rockefeller University in New York City, and a co-chair of the commission. The report, which reviewed the scientific and technical state of heritable gene editing rather than ethical questions, advocates the formation of an international committee that evaluates developments in the technology and advises political leaders and regulators on its safety and utility. Wow. So yeah, how wonderful that the Rockefeller University is going to be basically in total control of CRISPR gene editing. Right, what a surprise that the people that bring us the guidestones are also behind gene editing and the plandemic. Shock fucking horror. But since 2016, they have been telling us that gene editing and CRISPR is bad fucking news, right? And there you go, in 2018, CRISPR could be causing extensive mutations. 2019, collateral damage and CRISPR genome editing. Yeah, collateral fucking damage, alright. But again, in 2020, CRISPR gene editing prompts chaos in DNA of human embryos. Yep, it's fucking chaos, alright. But unfortunately, for us, with the Rockefellers at the helm, well, gene editing, I am adamant, I'm sure I could almost put my life on it, that it will come out possibly at the end of this year even, or next year, that gene editing and CRISPR has gotten the green light, and it's all okay, and the side effects are minimal or next to nothing, but they will be still very fucking bad news, alright? And I did see this on Twitter just before I go today, and make the done previously fought syndrome, because yeah, it is coming for sure. It's not going to go away, and we will be caught up eventually. But yeah, it's the musician Ian Brown, who I quite like, and he has posted on Twitter, no lockdown, no tests, no tracks, no masks, no vax, right? Research and destroy. Fucking right. So yeah, good on you, Ian Brown, a celebrity coming out and saying exactly what we want to fucking say. I wonder how long until Twitter close him down. Right, we'll see. Time will tell, I suppose. Anyway, that is it for the Friday Fix on a Sunday. I will catch you next time with the done previously fought syndrome, right? And yep, the deception, it continues. And that is about it. Bye-bye.